Hi Pioneers, it's Mrs. Vaughn and my son Barrett, and we are going to read the story called The Lorax. It's Earth Day today, and it's really important that we take care of our Earth, and so this is just a fun story that helps us remember the things we can do to protect our Earth, and the things that we do that maybe aren't so great for our Earth. And we also have our friend the Lorax to hang out with us for the story. So this story is by Dr. Seuss. It's one of his famous books, and I believe there's a movie about this. And if you are a former Ferndalian and remember the readers theaters that some of the teachers at Ferndale used to do, maybe you were a part of that readers theater. You can share those stories with your family or siblings or kids or whoever. So here we go. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax.
Lorax?
Doesn't look like a very fun place to live. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as he could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. This is his little Lorax spot. What was the Lorax, and why was it there, and why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows. The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. Can you see the Onceler's house?
Yeah, I'm sorry something. Is that the Onceler's house?
Yep.
Mama, is that Onceler?
Nope, that's a cactus.
Yeah, cactus.
Okay, let me read the next page. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered muff. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay.
I see it.
Yeah, he's peeking out of the window. Do you see him peeking out of that window?
Yeah, peeking out of the window.
On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. See the little guy putting his money in the pail?
Yeah.
Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in the snuvy, his secret strange hole in his groovyless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-ma-phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. He's putting the thing in his glove there.
Mama, where?
Right here in his glove. His secret spot. Down slips the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he's had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, but how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. There's the whisper-ma-phone.
Is the whisper-ma-phone?
That sure is. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the swommy-songs rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Look at these beautiful truffula trees.
Well, look at that.
That looks like a great place to stay.
And that looks like a great place to stay.
And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. There's the barbaloots.
Mama, let me get in the camera.
We'll scooch over. But those truffula trees. All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart.
You unloaded your cart.
The Onceler unloaded his cart.
Mama, what about the stuff he did?
Yeah, he's unloading it. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed.
What does it mean?
A thneed is this right here. What do you think you could use a thneed for? There's this thneed. There's the truffula tree he chopped down.
Where?
Right here.
Oh.
The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of that stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him, that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy. He spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy.
Okay, let me get in the camera. This.
Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? See him shouting at the Onceler? There's the Lorax. Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed. I don't know what I would use it for.
Well, you can use it for the shirt.
For a shirt, okay. But that very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy.
Yeah, now we make an order for him.
I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all...
Mama, he doesn't have hair here. He does.
Yep.
Mine, you don't have hair on his feet.
Oh, but the stuffy does.
So we don't.
I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, Listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for a whole Onceler family to get mighty rich.
I'm the one for.
Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken and sharp right at South Stitch.
Mommy, I wonder, it's snowy and cold, the ones where it will come out.
Maybe. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees.
Papa, let me get into the camera.
Then, oh baby, oh how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. There's the whacker.
Yeah, there's the whacker. That's the whacker machine.
But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." Look at all these trees that are chopped down.
Hey, we're making the camera.
They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried as he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies in tummies, you know. All those barbaloots have to go somewhere else, because there's not enough fruit to eat. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads.
Mom, wait, look at that factory.
Yeah, making the thneeds. I biggered the loads of the thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds.
Mom, I have a cuckoo clock.
And I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Look at that big factory. Making all those, look at all those thneeds coming into the factory.
Yeah, look at all
And all those boxes being shipped out and all the trucks going. But what's missing? What don't they have anymore?
trees.
They don't have any more trees. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes. With that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled and he snargled and sniffed. "Onceler," he cried with a crofulous croak. "Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swummy swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat when there's big factories." Look at all this yucky stuff going in the air.
Look at
And their poor swummy swans can't sing the songs. "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here. We have to go find some clear air." "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about Gluppity-Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Gluppity-Glup, also Schloppity-Schlop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you." It's inside the factory.
Mommy, what are you going to do with that factory?
They're making all the thneeds and it's making a mess.
Making a mess.
Oh, where does the mess go?
In the factory.
They make it in the factory, but it's going where?
To the pond.
"You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off on their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary."
Look at that mug. Look at that mug.
Look at that sloppity slop.
I call that mug all the time.
Okay. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering.
Mama, is he gonna get bigger?
His factory. He wants to make his factory bigger. Turning more truffula trees into thneeds, with which everyone needs.
Everyone needs.
Now, at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree, that we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. Look at that field.
Yeah, one more thing fall.
There's no more truffula trees. This was the very last one.
Yeah, but that's
No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and my aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smothered stars. Now all that was left, 'neath the bad-smelling sky, was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. Everybody left.
Yeah, we're left.
And there's no more blue skies, and there's no more green grass, and there's no more thneeds, or no more truffula trees to make the thneeds. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance as
he bowed
there. As he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. Hold on, let's show the picture.
And what can we be getting the camera?
And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Put that down. Whatever that means, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. There's where it says unless.
Unless.
But now, the Onceler, now that you're here, now says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.
Well, let me get in the camera. Wait, I got my belly.
So, catch. What's he throwing down?
A piece of metal.
Called the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
But that's the last one.
That was the last page. Yeah, so if we chop down all of our trees, we're not going to have places for the animals, and it's going to make the earth not a very healthy place. So think about...
But we have green plants.
Yeah, we could plant green plants and help our world. Sound like a plan? Maybe you guys could talk to your family about things that you can do to help our planet be healthy.
No.
See you later.